Oh, nice. Okay, so the brother went over with you who you are. So who you are according to the Bible? Psalms 94:16.
I don't really know how to pronounce it, but...
I'm going with the I, right? Yeah. Issachar. Issachar, you're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar. All right, what the brother was showing you is that who you are according to the Bible. And the reason why you go through what you go through is because we broke God's laws and commandments. But you said you work for another company. You feel like you're a slave and oppressed. Don't you think the rest of our people feel the same way? You think that you're the only one that feels that? No. All 12 tribes right here that don't know the Israelites, right? We are going through oppression. We are going through, we are enslaved today. Right? Give me Psalms 94:16. This is the reason why it's important for you to know. Read that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 16.
Because do you want to do something to fix your communities? Or do you want your people just to stay like this, moving day to day, not knowing who they are? You want to help your people? Okay, here's a question from God. Read.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
This is a question to the Israelite man. You, Francisco, you were king on this earth. God said what?
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
So God is looking for us men to rise up against the evildoers. Why does he say evildoers? Bring us down? Is the evildoers only talking about the other nations? Does that include, let me ask you, does the evildoers include us as a people? Right, because what are we doing? Are we in the midst of evil? Yes, we're in the midst of evil. Say it again. We even bring down our own people. Why do we bring down our own people? We try to be better than them. Okay. So you see that in our communities. People try to be better than them. Guess what? What does that lead to? Hatred. How does that manifest? How do you see? Because you said that we hate each other and stuff. What are some examples that show us how we hate each other?
Bring it up.
Trying to one up each other. So out of envy and strife, we always listen. That's what happened during the time of slavery. They always they pinned us against us, light against dark skin. Okay, house Negro against field Negro, or house slave against field slave. Okay, curly hair or straight hair, blue eyes or brown eyes. They're always pinned against us. So we've been taught since the slavery to go to rise up against each other instead of join together. But read that again.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
So God is asking the Israelite man, who is going to rise up against the evildoers? Read.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
So this is why we're out here today. We're trying to stand up against the workers of iniquity. Mainly our people. Our people are workers of iniquity, workers of sin. The brother just showed you what sin is. What is sin again? Read sin again, okay? You're close, but I want you to give you the scriptural definition so you know in your head what is evil and what is sin. Okay, evil and sin is the same thing. 1 John 3 and 4.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
So what is sin? The transgression of the law. Now, what are some laws in the Bible that we got to keep? Ten Commandments. Is there only 10 commandments? There's more commandments. But usually we're taught 10 commandments. But guess what? Our people don't even keep the 10. They don't even know what the 10. Because if I ask you what are the 10 commandments, can you name them to me? You can name me some, but you can't name me. It's only 10. Guess what? There's over more than 600 commandments that we got to keep. But we don't even know the 10. We claim there's 10, but we don't know the 10. I'm going to show you a simple commandment because you want to rise up against the evildoer, right? In order for you to rise up against the evildoer, that means you have to stop doing evil, right? That means you got to stop sinning. So we're going to bring a law out, okay? And we're going to see if you're keeping it or not and see what you should do there. 1 Corinthians 11. All right, we're going to test your spirit, bro. Because we need men out here to teach our people how to keep the commandments. But we got to be that example first, Francisco. You hear me? Because ain't nobody going to listen to you. If you still gangbanging, killing people, hoeing out your sisters, and then you try to correct your people, they're going to look at you as a hypocrite. You got to get yourself right by listening to the word of God, the laws of God, and applying it to your life. So we're going to test it out right now. Read.
This is the first book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So right here, God is about to establish order. In order for us to have an organized nation, we need order. The blacks and Hispanics, we hate order. We hate having someone above us telling us what to do. We hate taking correction. We hate following orders. Our people hate that. Our people want to do their own thing. But God has a divine order, and he's about to go over it. Read it from the top again.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So who is the head of man? Christ, okay? Christ is right there on the right. We're going to show you what he looks like in a few seconds, right? So the head of every man is Christ. That's our leader. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So who is the head of the woman? The man. But what does America teach? America teaches that? The system teaches that the man should take care of the woman. The system teaches the woman can be independent, that the woman can be greater than the man or equal to the man. They don't teach that man is supposed to be ruling over the woman. That's why you got women in politics. That's why you got vice presidents who are women telling us what to do. That's out of order. The men should be telling the nation what they should be doing. The men should be guiding this earth, making sure everything is ordered, and we're following the footsteps of Christ. But America doesn't teach that to us. America teaches that women can be equal to the man. That's why our houses are destroyed. That's why the majority of the time, who's in the houses? Who's running the houses? The women are. You got parents? Who was over the house? Your mom was. Your mom was telling everybody what to do. God said that is out of order. The man is over the woman. The man is supposed to be putting everything in order. Keep reading.
But I would have you know.
And people just like that. Why? Because America taught us all to go against the Bible. The Bible teach man is over the woman, and now you have women mad about that because they hate God. Whenever we come out and read the Bible and people go against it, it's not that they don't like us. They hate what's written in the Bible. Because the Bible is going to tell us how to get ourselves right. People don't want to change. Continue reading.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
Here's the order, Francisco. We got God, Christ, the Israelite man, and the Israelite woman, and the children are underneath. All right, here's a law for you. Let me ask you real quick. You been into a court setting before? Jury duty? You never been to jury duty? Okay, have you ever watched TV where in the court? What if you walked in the way you are? What would they say to you? Why do you think they'll look at you funny? No, I wouldn't say that because our people are in the court all the time. Because we have to go to court because of some crime we committed or didn't commit. We're in there all the time. They wouldn't look at you crazy because you're Mexican. They'll look at you crazy because what is this on top of your head? Yeah, a hat. You got a hat on. So if you go on the court of the white man, they're going to tell you to do what? Take your hat off. Why? What's it to show? Why do they tell you to take the hat off? It's because to show respect to the judge, to show respect to America, the white man. That's why they tell you to take the hat off, to show respect unto them. But we're going to read how God tells us about our head being covered. Read verse 4. Here's the law for you, bro.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered.
So any man praying or prophesying, so praying or prophesying, you know what it means to prophesy? So speak the word, that's good. All right, that's what it says in Revelation 19:10. We don't got to go there. Keep reading.
Every man praying or prophesying.
So right now we're speaking the word, right? You agree, Francisco? Read.
Having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So any man speaking about the Bible or listening to it, having their head covered, dishonoreth his head. So what should you do right now, Francisco? Remove the head. See, it's simple. It's simple. When we read the laws of God, it's simple to look at it. Okay, you know what? I'm not doing it. Let me apply this. Let me apply this. So you're showing respect unto who when you do that? Well, to God, to Christ. Because your head is who? Christ is your head. Right? Real quick. Because I mentioned Christ, right? What does Christ look like? Which one right here is Christ? Which one of these is Christ?
Well, honestly, they would deflect them more at this one right here.
Like that one. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I really wouldn't know.
You don't know. So does the Bible show us what Christ looked like? Do you know who you're showing respect to? Because in our minds, we think we're showing respect to this man right here.
Bring it out. I would say we just show respect to a Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit?
I don't really think God has an actual body because he like.
So God doesn't have an actual body. Because of what?
Because he resurrected that brother.
He resurrected. Okay. His spirit came back. But when Christ was walking the earth, did he have a body? He had a body. What did he look like? They said he. Who said that? Well, who taught us the Bible? The whites. So white people said that Jesus was a white man and he had white skin, right? Let's see what the Bible said. Because remember, we go for anything we want. We have to go to who? No. We're slaves, right? So us as slaves, who do we go to get any type of information? The white guys. So they taught us who? Jesus. They taught us the Bible, right? But let's see what they taught lines up with the Bible. Read that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So the revealing of Jesus Christ, of what Christ talked about. This is the last book of the Bible. This is after Christ died. This is around about 90 AD, 96 AD. Way 60 years after Christ died. Verse 10.
Verse 10.
Because you said Christ came back as a spirit, right? He came back as a spirit, meaning he didn't have a body?
He came back. Well, I'm saying that his spirit probably came back into the body that he was.
Okay, his spirit came back into the body when he's crucified. So he still had a body though. Okay, let's see what his body looked like. Verse 10.
Verse 10. I was in the spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice.
So John heard behind him. He heard behind him. Read.
A great voice as of a trumpet, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest.
And what thou what?
And what thou seest.
So John wasn't hallucinating. John wasn't having a dream. He wasn't having a vision. He said, what you see behind you, do what?
Write in a book.
So what John is about to see, he's supposed to write in a book. And that's what we're reading, book of Revelation. Read.
And send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and to Thyatira, and unto Sardis. Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So, Francisco, pay attention. It said Christ's hair and his hair was white like wool. Which images here have white woolly hair? This one. So that's already a lie right there that's been taught. He has blonde, wavy hair. That's not in the Bible. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So his eyes were as a flame of fire. Why? What was Christ's first miracle? He turned water into wine. Christ drank wine in moderation. He wasn't a drunkard. He wasn't going every Saturday to the clubs and getting drunk. No, he drank wine in moderation. Read. And the whites of his eyes turned red. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet. Your feet, the top of your foot is the same color as your rest of your body, right? So it says unto fine brass. What color is brass? Brown. A little bit of a brown. As if it what?
As if they burned in a furnace.
You burn anything, Francisco, what color is it going to turn? It's going to turn black. So Christ was what? He was a black man. He looked more like this. He didn't look nothing like this. This is what Christianity lied to us about. Catholicism, the so-called white man. They lied to us and gave us this image and said this was Jesus. Now give me Hosea 3 and 4. I'm going to show you why that's important, because whenever our people think they have some type of understanding and knowledge and they want to pray to God, they got this in their head. So that's why our people walk around with low self-esteem, because what we see, what we have in our head, doesn't look like us. It looks like our oppressors who are over us. The guy that we think that Jesus is, or who we think that God is, does not look like us. But once we find out who God really looks like, who Christ look like, we'll have better self-esteem. But listen to the prophecy and why it's important. Read.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 3, verse 4. For the children of Israel.
So you're children of Israel. You're from the tribe of Issachar. Read.
Shall abide many days without a king.
So it said we'll abide many days without a king. Our king is who? Jesus Christ. But guess what? When you go in the church, what does he look like? A white man that has nothing to do with us. So we never had a king. Your whole life you didn't have a king. You didn't have someone to look up to. A role model.
We're just worshiping a depiction, basically.
We are worshiping a depiction that doesn't look like us. You're right, Francisco. Keep reading.
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image.
Without a what?
and without an image.
Because every time you think about praying or going to church, you got this image in your head. You don't have the image of God. You don't have the image of Christ. You don't have the image of what your forefathers looked like according to the Bible.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.